Well, hello guys. This is your girl Diva Fashionista. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. Happy New Year. I know it's been a while since I've recorded. I didn't actually plan on recording this video. If I had, I would have done it last night. But I went into this watching Surviving R. Kelly excited. I thought I was going to sip some tea. We're going to have some new revelations. And I didn't get what I thought I was going in for. I thought it was just going to be juicy, and I was riveted. And then I wound up pissed off. I went to bed pissed off. I woke up today, wanted to handle my business, and I'm still pissed off. So I'm like, I need to unpack. I need to unload this. Let's get into my thoughts. This is a review, but it's more my thoughts on what we saw. A lot of this wasn't new to me. I love hip hop and R&B. A lot of this stuff, even though I was very young, I kind of followed it. You know, always listening to radio, always reading magazines. So I kind of try to follow, always watching entertainment news and things like that. I followed these stories. And there was certain things, of course, I wasn't privy to, like the insider information, but just having a good overview of what happened, I think I was fully abreast of that. So it was kind of shocking. You know, I like to tweet as I watch anything like this type of event, like a poppin' movie, biopic, all that type of stuff. I try to like to tweet while I watch it and just see where everyone is, their thoughts are or share my thoughts while I'm actually watching it. So if you got Twitter, you don't follow me at Diva Fashion. Everything is Diva Fashionista. So you know you can find me if you want to. So while I was watching, it was kind of shocking to see people just saying that they didn't know or they didn't understand. I feel like there was a lot of turning a blind eye and a deaf ear to R. Kelly. He did not hide his perversion from us. It wasn't hidden. It was out there in plain sight. Whether we chose to listen to what he was saying, try to think deeper, or just believe him when he was telling us this stuff, it was all out there. I just remember talking to people as different things, as different shoes dropped, talking to people, and people were in straight denial. And it was just like, he's telling you this one thing. R. Kelly, he may be able to sing me under the table. He may be a musical genius. He may be a legend in his own right. But there's one thing for certain and two things for sure. R. Kelly is not smarter than I am. He is not smarter than me, so he did not outsmart me. I knew this stuff. Anybody in my inner circle will tell you I've been saying some of these stuff that was revealed, and it was just perception. I could just perceive that this is what the truth was. Starting off with the whole Pied Piper thing. Do people not read to their children? Are we not like into fairy tales or, you know, children's stories anymore? Because I clearly was read the story of the Pied Piper as a child. So when he was calling himself the Pied Piper, I was like, he's throwing this in y'all face. He's basically telling you what he's about. He's going to sing your kids away from you, you know? And people was just like, oh, I didn't think about it, or oh, I didn't know. And it was just so confusing. Even last night, people still were saying like, oh my gosh, I never made that connection. I was blown. That blew me away. When people were talking about, oh, the Zorro, like we wore around the Zorro mask. Like, you should have worn a mask in that video, son. Like, this was just totally crazy to me. I'm getting more into what the docuseries is about. It's basically Surviving R. Kelly. We have a lot of interviews with people who were either in his inner circle, was around him during the time, was in Chicago during the time, and then we have the survivors. I have to say, I feel so deeply for the survivors. And I'm not going to say allegedly. Someone is telling you their truth, you should believe them. This is their truth, believe them. There's too many people saying some of the same things. It's too many people corroborate from this side, from that side of the story. This is the truth. I will say allegedly when I call him a predator, that because I ain't trying to get sued. If R. Kelly want to sue me for the $5 I got in my pocket, then, but when I'm talking about what these victims had to say, you know, my heart goes out to them. I feel so bad. I feel so bad for Lizette. I feel so bad because even years later, you still see that stays with her, you know. And it's so hard when it's statutory rape, because even myself battled with statutory rape as a youngster. Like, I understood why it was wrong, but I didn't think it was wrong. And had my mama let me, my little fast ass would have been out there behind some grown man. I had a crush, and if you my friends, if you want, do not drop down in the comments and say that man's name. But I had a crush, and all my friends knew, and he was grown, and I was like, yes, I was ready. My little body was calling, but my mama just wasn't having it. My mama was so strict, and I thank God for her. She was just like the type of mama like Sparkle was talking about. You wasn't allowed to spend the night at nobody's house. If they had men, you wasn't going. Like, that was how I was raised as well. So I'm grateful for that. You know, we got to see interviews of his brothers, and that was kind of telling. I didn't get their names. I kind of just gonna call him the brother that was out and the brother that was in. The brother that was in, some of the stuff you said was very ignorant. As a man in his 50s, it looked like you got cataracts. Like, you're a man of age, maybe even 60s. So some of the stuff you were saying, it was just like, it was problematic for me and some of the people on Twitter. It was just like, what is saying that this is this man's preference was problematic. It's troubling. You don't get to have that preference because it's illegal, because it isn't right. Even if a 14-year-old says, yes, I want to have sex with you, the problem with that is that she's not fully developed here. She doesn't have the life experience to make that decision for herself. A lot of things that's a boundary or that's a standard for myself as a woman or women in general is because we've had that life experience. We've gone through some things, and or we've our friend. Like, I know some of the things that I'm just like, one of my friends went through, and we talked, we chatted, and we exchanged, and I saw how it affected them, and I said, you know what, that's a no for me. I didn't necessarily have to go through it. A 14-year-old does not have the life experience, doesn't have the mental capacity to say, you know what, I'm not into other women. I do not want to have sex with you and another 16 or 17-year-old. She's kind of just going to go with it because of the celebrity, or because she thinks she loves you. She thinks she's trying to make you happy, which is why this is wrong. So, brother man, you are where you need to be. My heart kind of did go out, even though you could tell the brother that was out maybe played a part, or maybe even he turns a blind eye to some of the stuff that was going on. The brother that was out, my heart goes out to him because he, like R. Kelly, they both are victims of sexual abuse. So, you know, what then happens when in these type of situations, you can become a predator yourself. So, you know, I felt bad because you could see that he was really still dealing with some of his traumas from his childhood as well. I remember reading on Twitter, people were complaining. Some people were saying that they were tuning out of the first part because they felt like it was to make them feel sorry or victimize R. Kelly. And I don't think that was the film maker's intentions. I think with every villain, you want to know a backstory. You want to know how that they got there. We don't think that anyone is bad, just wake up bad one day. You know, most people are inherently good. So we want to know what happened along the way that maybe caused this trauma that made him be this way. So I do think that they did a good job with just going back and just showing his rise to success, and also, you know, just showing, like, you know, he's not perfect. He's illiterate, comes from a single family home. It sounds like there's multiple daddies who all turned their back on these children, and to see that the brother that's out, he's still dealing with that, and he was in tears at certain points. It was like, wow, this does and can have a lasting effect. It does not justify R. Kelly going on and then allegedly being a predator, but it does give you some explanation and some backstory as to how this might possibly happen. My opinion is that the fame and the celebrity, the money just got to him. You know, it was so overly sexualized. You're having sex at a young age. Sex. Now sex is everywhere. Sex. You think missionary want to get you there? I honestly think that, you know, this can be a cautionary tale for other people coming up in the business, or other people who want to be in the business, and for parents and all of us around. Like, we have to pay attention to our children. We have to pay attention to the signs, because the signs were there. I'm sorry, I understand why they call this place Chirac. For real, for real. I understand it. Because if you guys are telling stories, just innocent people, bystanders, all type of people in the industry, of this man going to McDonald's and trolling for kids. You see him at the high school, and he's several years out of high school, so he has no excuse to be at that high school trolling, and no one called the police. If you never heard this from no one, get this and be clear. If you see a crime being committed, and that's a crime, this man picking up underage girls, that's a crime. You didn't have to go and be the one to say. You don't have to. You can remain anonymous and report a crime. It was someone, no one nowhere decided that, you know what, this is not right. Anything along the way wasn't right. No one, not a record exec, no one saw anything. A technician, because I'm sure, okay, he's writing and producing his own music, but I'm sure he's not mixing and mastering it. I'm sure once he's in the booth, there's somebody that's out there pushing the buttons. He can't do it all. You saw this man with a girl bent over in the stoop, in the booth, excuse me, and you did nothing. You said nothing. You couldn't anonymously drop the dime, tell the police that they need to look into this. They didn't need you. They don't need you to testify. Once they're investigating, it's out there. They see they could have raided the home at any time he's making. The girl is saying he made tapes with her and other girls. Like, they could have raided that house at any time and found that stuff with just a phone call. I'm sorry. I feel like a lot of people failed these children. Whether it's people who were outside the high school and they knew, whether it was other kids who knew your friend. There's people on Twitter say, yeah, my friend messed with him, or that was common knowledge. Like, where were the parents? Parents, like, you're letting your child just go off. You want fame and money that bad that you would have it at the expense of your child. Sorry, I had to retake, my hat fell off because I was getting worked up. I'm really upset about this. I feel like a lot of people, y'all better be glad that there's a statute of limitations, because a lot of you were in concert, y'all was cohorts, y'all aided, y'all abetted these crimes, and if he's guilty, y'all are guilty too, and y'all better be glad they can't prosecute you. It's all good and well now to come forth and tell the story, but where were y'all? Like, what money was, like, your paycheck? Was it worth it? I see a lot of them tearful and looking regretful now, but it's like you still went along with the program. And somebody could have stopped him. Anybody could have stopped him along the way. Anybody. You know, it's just sad that this was allowed to go on, with all these people turn a blind eye and a deaf ear to what this man was doing. Because he blatantly, like, your body is calling. All these songs are about teenagers. It's sad. I guess, you know, I can't get through this review without touching on the Aaliyah thing. I knew about it because I remember Vibe magazine publishing the marriage certificate, and I was an avid reader, and there was so many people to this day that's so in denial, like, about it. I think after last night, I don't know anybody who still would be in denial about it, but I think there was so many people that were still in denial, and I wish I could have took the magazine, like, I saw it, like, they were married. There's so many fans that was like, no, they weren't. That's a rumor. That's a lie. And it really was, it was the truth, you know, and I'm glad that they were able to get it annulled. But I mean, that happened. I remember not being into the Asian nothing but I wasn't into it. Even being a young child, I just kind of didn't get it. I got the message of the song, like, age ain't nothing, like, okay, what are you trying to say? I didn't know at the time that they were together or there's anything, but I thought Aaliyah had a crush on him. I think that was apparent to me, and I think people were picking up on the chemistry and things like that, which is why people were asking. You see in the interview, they were asking, like, are y'all together? What's going on? And it was creepy. It was something, even in my young spirit, it didn't sit with it. I was not a fan of it. I thought Aaliyah was a very pretty girl, and I just was like, why they don't let her be pretty? I didn't like all the posturing and the bandana with I didn't like it. I'm like, she's so gorgeous. Let her be gorgeous. And you see, after she got away from that, that's what her image was. She's gorgeous. She's stylish. You know, I like that Aaliyah, but I didn't like Asian nothing but a number Aaliyah, and that's the God honest truth. I did not. I just was like, something isn't right here. As far as the family, my condolences go out. We lost a great talent in Aaliyah, a beautiful soul, a great talent. But the facts are the facts, and I wasn't there, so I can't say what happened either way. But I just kind of think that we as a whole would like it's like, I don't want to be disparaging towards the family at all, but at this point, and I understand you want to preserve her legacy, and she's always going to be an angel and angelic to you as the family, but no one's perfect. We all make mistakes, and that part of her life was a mistake, and I think we as the fans or as the public would like acknowledgement of it. It's the fact that it's not being even acknowledged, or just being swept under the rug, and just like, this is lies. I think we would benefit, or we'd like to hear and say, like, you know what, this is a part of her life that was a mistake, and that we don't want to focus on it. We don't want that to be her legacy, and I think that would go over better than just saying, this is a lie. Because I see people are shifting they still love Aaliyah, but they're shifting their thoughts of the family, because people are like, where were you? You're saying you were there, but there's no possible way you were there every moment, because this happened. The marriage happens, I'm gonna leave that alone, but I was aware of them being together, and then people just like being still shocked, like they were together. Oh, it was true. That was just kind of like it was proven. You could say allegedly, or this is that, and the rumor of this, that, but you can't. A marriage license is a marriage license. Like, that's not. They forged it to get it, but it's in the legal document. So, again, just my condolences to that. Yeah, we got through part 1. We got to see Draya. Now, I didn't know about Draya. I didn't know about Draya Kelly until she was on a reality show. I didn't know she existed. I didn't know he had a wife. And that's the question that I want to know. Did y'all ask her where was she when all of this was happening? I'm so sorry that he was abused, and that she was abused, sorry. And other people are claiming, that they were abused by R. Kelly as well. I'm so sorry about that. I didn't know the depth of that. Like, you have to ask in your own home to get something to eat, and let's not skip over the fact that even though she was of age, she was 19 when she met him, so she still was young. He was probably in his 30s at that point. So he does. I'm sorry. I'm overwhelmed. I'm upset. I am upset. I'm so upset at these people. And Draya, I just wish her healing. I like her. She's sassy. She's a survivor. She's definitely a survivor. She's such a sassy and just my heart goes out for Draya and her children, because they have children together. But I'm just like, where was she? Where was all this happening? Where were all these allowed this to go on? Parents, where were you? I think if we take nothing from this, we have to just sit back and just really just think about us as a society. We're in this exposed culture now. It's so hard to keep things away and keep things secret. Things are not going to be just swept under the rug anymore. We need to not protect these predators, these sexual predators. Stop protecting them. You got that uncle or cousin that everybody like, oh, we don't let the kids be around that person. Y'all stop protecting him. Report his ass to the police, because before it's just cousin so-and-so, be cousin, auntie, this one, that one. Don't stop protecting them. I just think that it needs to be so hush-hush in the black community. We need to get away from that. We also need to get away from thinking that statutory rape is not a crime. Like I said, I was guilty of it. It is a crime. They can't give their consent. You see how years and years later, these people are still crying. These people are still messed up behind what this man did. And what is this man doing? Touring. He's touring, singing, singing. Talk about turn up R. Kelly. Like, it's really, really sad. Yeah, that's all I have for this part 1 and 2 of it. I think tonight's episode, because I am late, we'll get into the sex tape. I don't think y'all want to hear. I think I'm going to have to make that video if I make another video of 18 and over, because y'all don't want to know what I thought about the video. I saw the video. I did see the video back in the day. I don't think y'all want to know what I thought about that. But if you do, yeah, please feel free to let me know. Let me know what you thought, your thoughts. Drop down in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe. And if I don't catch you, you'll catch me in the next one. Later, guys. Pissed. Still pissed.